Hello, Maribeth.
Hey.
Hey.
I was thinking that I was getting nervous because I was thinking, oh, I wonder if Zoom's not working again. But you made it on.
I made it on, yes.
Damn. How are you feeling?
Better, thank you. I have gotten my voice back almost, so it feels great. I'm still coughing a bit, but I will mute myself when I do.
Thank you. Thank you. You look better.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look. There's more, life and color, which is always what we like, right?
I was pretty white for some days, yes.
You were.
Yes, I was. So I feel much better now. I just need to get my voice totally back. So.
Well, it was I think it was 2 things in a row, wasn't it? I mean, it seemed like there were 2 weeks where you had trouble hanging.
Yes. First, I had trouble with my voice, and then last time I think the reason why I was thrown out of Zoom all the time was that we had a thunderstorm here, and so I think it was the internet didn't cope with it was that terrible weather. It may have been that.
It happens here with me. We got some terrible thunderstorms. So, Diane, is that you?
Yes, actually I called in because when I click on the Zoom link, it says the host has another meeting in progress.
You know, that happened last week, and how about I give you the meeting ID? You know, and I checked all the reminders, so I'm going to blame it on Zoom, and I'm sorry anyway. If you want to try, go to Zoom US, and the number, if you got a pen, I'll give you the room number.
Yeah, let me get to Zoom New US.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at that. Let me leave that other meeting.
Okay.
And then do I go to join a meeting?
Go to join a meeting.
Okay, meeting ID.
107 174 921. I think I'm probably going to have to send that to everybody else. So Tammy.
Your meeting is launching, connecting, fingers crossed.
Well, We see you. We see your name.
Do you see? Well, let me activate my camera.
Okay. I'm going to send this. Yes, I got Sarah.
How do I? Let me see. Start video.
Yeah.
There. And I'll turn those lights off behind me.
Yeah, I'm sending an email to everybody with it, just in case. Let's see if I can type it right so I don't make it even worse for everybody.
That's better. Even though I didn't fix my hair. Gosh darn it.
Isn't it awful to have to see yourself? I never get
I know. Let me see, and I'll use my computer audio.
Okay.
And then I'll use my phone. Can you say something?
Hello.
Yay! There we go.
And as you can see, my work, I'm speaking as I'm typing to the three folks who hopefully will show up. Yeah. Alrighty. So I sent it, and hopefully, yeah, I can see it. We can get going. So I wanted, I got to say cheers. And nice, yes, and I got water too, so I'm like, see, I got you both covered. We're going to talk about sending information, but Diane sent me a really great email about how it went on the replay, and I thought that was very useful. So, Diane, I'm gonna read it, but then we can start talking.
Fine.
You were listening to it, and you were worried that the energy of the replay was not enough for you to pick up what I was sending. Generally, that energy, my intention is that you get it in the replay as much as in the real life time. Is the background okay for you? I've got the window open. Is everything okay? Okay, good. Because that makes my little bunny, I don't know if you can see her, but that's Bunny back there enjoying the birds and the weather. So you should be able to get it even in replay.
Well, then I guess I failed miserably.
No, I would like you to hear a different version, because that's where everybody goes. Everybody goes there, and that is one of the things that will trip us up from actually getting good at this. So I'm going to give a really crappy pep talk. So I heard that the best psychics in the world are 65% accurate. So that the other third is baloney, right? Or, they got something, but it sure doesn't seem to fit everything. Sarah, we're talking about being inaccurate. That's the other thing that I'm working really hard to say is we don't want to talk about right or wrong. We want to talk about inaccurate, because you still may be receiving something, but it just doesn't happen to apply to who you wanted to pick it up from. And if I haven't said the stories, I have had times where I was reading for 2 cats in the family, and I got the personalities completely perfect, except I attributed them to the wrong cat. Or you'll pick up something else. I've also had it where there are different animals in the family, and one of them is like, you want to talk to little doggy A? Well, little doggy B says, no, I want to talk. And so you get, yeah, right? It's like, no, wait a second. We'll talk to you later. Come on, come on. Let's do this again. I feel like I'm doing hand puppets now. So we go everywhere with this. But so first off, you got to know that 100% accuracy is probably hard for even the best sidekick. However, if you only got one thing and it was right, you got yourself 100% accuracy. The other thing to remember is this is a skill which you have to practice. Anybody learned how to ride the bikes? How good were you that first time you got on the bike? And you're like, I'm never doing this. What do you mean you're taking the training wheels off? What do you mean you're taking mom and dad, the hand off the back of my bike? No. And then we fell, right? Please keep that memory. Whatever whatever you used to do that you said I couldn't do it, now you can. We're in that phase right now, Diane. Thoughts, anybody? Diane, thoughts or comments or questions on that?
Well, when we do it in a classroom setting like this, and I apologize if I mute every once in a while, I'm fighting a terrible cough, but when we do it in a classroom setting, we have you to provide a check for us.
Yes.
When we do it, like our little dog Honey lately has been kind of sick, and she weighs 6.5 pounds, and she lost almost a pound, which is huge for her.
Yes.
And we've been worried. And so I've tried to connect with her, but if I have so little, well, if I don't have a chance of being very accurate, how do you kind of check yourself when we don't have you in this classroom setting?
That's good. Very, very, very good question. And that's the pleasure of being being here while we're doing it, where I can kind of think through. You did another good thing is you sent me an email and said, here's what I got. And so I'm thinking it over, and I'm going to give you some feedback that might change your mind a little bit about how accurate what you were. What I do is, and what my other students have learned is, you get a sense that it didn't come from me. If I was going to speak in Navy language, I would say, I couldn't have made that shit up. All right, I'll be very blunt about it. There's either a way that comes across, or the idea is something that you weren't projecting because you didn't think about it. You just didn't think about it. And the other thing I sometimes do, and I think over time it gets better, is it me or is it her? Who's getting it? And so I will hear, especially if you're sick too, because sometimes I've got coughing and I'm doing it. I say, okay, I know you, so it's like you got a cough, but that is accurate for this animal too. So you're doing, so that is accurate for Honey. So let's see if there's any other things. So you have does it feel like something I could have come up with? Probably not. The other thing that kind of happens is you've started to connect in, and later on you get this aha moment. Like, I don't know why we don't get the answers immediately, but I look for the ahas. Bunny, who was over here, is really beating up. So I'm still working on her. She's better on Shadow. And I'm like, why are you so mad at Shadow? And because Shadow's a year and a half, Bunny is about 10. And so Bunny is very close to Charlie. And Charlie brought in a new woman. Younger, svelte, lovely, got his heart. And here's Bunny like, what the heck? So and that just came to me like, and she's got to live with him. got to live with this otherwise. So I reminded Charlie that as much as he loves this new little dog, a little cat, he needs to give a lot of love to Bunny because that's part of the problem. Other thing that popped in with that was there was pain. And so pain makes everybody grouchy. Okay, so there's a couple ideas, places to go. Anybody else have comments or thoughts about that? You might also, something else that happens sometimes is you get an emotion that you know isn't yours. You just weren't feeling that before, and now you are. So that's another thing that might happen. All right, so let me talk about, you got for the animal, you got a squirrel. You saw a very fluffy tail, but it wasn't brown. So here's the key to that, Diane. I believe that was very accurate because when I saw the skunk, all I saw was a very fluffy tail. Really fluffy, and that is the only part of it I saw. So I deduced from the height and the way it was moving through that was not a squirrel. That was moving like, if that wasn't a white tail, that would have been a skunk. And then a guy in the neighborhood says, there's a white skunk around. So I believe you saw the fluffy tail, and that was accurate. Okay. Now, what happens is our logical mind has to have a story, so we have to add a body on, to the accurate piece that you got. And fluffy tails are brown in most. So I think that you got an accurate picture. The logical mind goes in. Let me finish it for you. But the essence was absolutely correct. You actually saw probably what I saw. Would you allow yourself to feel a little better, please, right now?
Yes. My other friends who are empaths keep telling me that. You're such a skeptic, Diane.
Yeah, well, it's our hardest hurdle is to believe that we're actually doing it. We're actually getting good information. So that's why this is so good. So taste, you got the lemon flavor. Not a cheese sandwich. So it might be inaccurate, but there are a few things that I love with iced tea. I'm thinking iced tea. I always like my lemon. I love iced tea. I like the sandwich. If I eat a cheese sandwich out, I may have an iced tea with lemon. So there may be that. But I'm not sure. That's that one I'm reaching on. I definitely love my iced tea with lemon. If I have a choice with my cheese sandwich, that's what I'm going to have. But that one I can't give you a definite. I think you were picking up something that I really liked, but it didn't happen to be the cheese sandwich. Okay.
You're being kind.
No. I am assuming that the people that show up in this group already have intuition. And so I am looking for ways that what came through, even though it wasn't what exactly I asked you for, could still be accurate. Okay, another example, because this is really useful. I was doing a psychic boot camp. It's two sisters that were doing it. It was really great. And so they were doing the envelope with a picture inside, and they would hold it up, and we were supposed to figure out what was in the envelope. And one of the times I said, I don't know what this is. I know it's an object, a symbol, but I keep hearing pinch. So the one sister said, well, my youngest son ran out into the street. And this is a sad story. Okay, sorry about that. And he was killed by a car. But he comes through to her. And he comes through to her by pinching her. So she says, he's here, and so I think you picked it up. So I'm giving you a way to be a little less skeptical. Just, just like, okay, that's not what she was doing, but I got something. Let's see. So you say, look, this time I want to actually get what she's sending. Okay, guys, okay, guys, let's pick up what Mary Beth's actually sending, or let's pick up what the dog or the cat, what they're doing right now, or what they really are, okay? Because that was really helpful to me to know that it was like not totally out in left field. There was a real thing that she experiences often, and it's the pinch. So I was stretching to look for it, but not because I want to make you feel good, but because I want to just, make a possible connection there. Anybody else, questions or thoughts? Thank you so much for letting me share this. This is super way to start. So we're talking about sending information, which is so much fun. And it's the other part of the equation. You got the listening because you want to, but also sending information. So that makes it a two-way connection. So what do we do? I'm going to use the handout, but I like to talk about it because not everybody has time to look at handouts. The equation for sending is a picture, words, and emotions. Now, I've just learned that if you speak, our brains are set up to turn that stuff into pictures. But if you do it on purpose, it's much stronger to create the picture. And then the emotion is the stuff, I believe, that just carries it through. That is the thing that really connects and lets them get the quality of what we're trying to get through to them. So there's all kinds of behavioral issues that you can talk about with your animals and ask them to change. Fear, aggression. I did that with my dog Tibor, who's poor guy. He's at the groomer, not his favorite place. Send him a little love right now. You're coming back, boy. Leash aggression, peeing and pooping where they shouldn't be, barking. That's a tough one, but you can talk to them about it. Not getting along. Separation anxiety this is really good for separation anxiety, and even not eating. And then appreciation and love, because just like humans, you're going to listen to whoever's communicating with you so much more clearly when you know how much they love you, right? They appreciate you. And it's a given in our families, but who doesn't need it anyway, right? Our animals just need it just like we do. So you can tell them when you're going on vacation, who's taking care of them, give them permission to have fun. You can talk about somebody coming into the family, somebody leaving the family. Surgeries, recovery from surgery. That, the funny thing I got on surgeries and going to the vet is for animals. I think that's like a person having an alien abduction, and you hear the stories of being beamed up and weird looking people in coats and stuff all over their faces, and they're poking and prodding you, even in those how do they take a temperature, even that is like, ugh, and they don't even know what's going on. So you can communicate. Hey, I'm doing this because one of the things I want to do to keep you healthy, and it's only going to be for a little while, and I promise we're going home. And or they're going to give you some shots. There's going to be some pain, or the surgery. You're going to be over. I mean, you get as specific as you can. Okay. So let me stop there. Any thoughts come through for you guys as you're listening about what you could communicate? Other things that you thought you could use this for? Okay, all right. So what you want to do, or what I do, is if you have something you want to change, you think about the behavior, but that you don't want them to do, and think about. Be honest with yourself, all the emotions that you have around that. There's some people who are so polite that when their cat is peeing on the bed, on the walls, they're just saying, well, I'm a little bit sad. No, you're not sad, you're pissed off. You gotta wash this stuff up. I mean, every day you love that animal, but they're driving you crazy. So, just be honest, figure out the stuff, sadness, embarrassment, somebody who can't bring people over to their house because the dog is so aggressive or the cat is, has done stuff and they're, or whatever it is, whatever it is. Yeah, just figure it out. And so you'd have that scenario in your head and you would first you give them a little bit of love before you start and show them the behavior and show them how it makes you feel. I mean, I feel like we're in a therapy session. But you're saying, this is the consequences. If it's a cleaning up thing, you're on the floor, you don't like the smell, you have to put things in the washer, or you may have to throw things out. Aggression, people who can't bring their friends over. Going on walks, it's no fun. Like you're just like waiting for the next, what's going to happen, that sort of thing, whatever it is. And then say, imagine the positive behavior. And sometimes this is, here we go. I can't hear you, Diane, but I'd like to.
He's presenting his butt to you.
I like it.
That's Milo. He's our gangster cat. He brought us a nice little snake last night.
Oh, this is what we're talking about. Okay, Milo. But you got to think about the positive behaviors, and you can't. I've had 2 kids, and I remember that you can't just tell them to stop doing something. You have to give them something else to do. I'm not demeaning our animals, but that is a true statement for them. My best example of that is one of my students that I'm mentoring. She takes her dog Chef out into the woods of Colorado, and Chef can run. And she'd say, "Stay where I can see you." And he finally said to her, "I don't know what you mean." And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, tell him to stay where he can see you. He can do that." He looks around and there you are. Because that's what my dogs do on the walk. We've all been trained to look and see if each other are there. So Milo bringing the dead animals, what would you like him to do instead? Should he bury them nicely on the grounds and go visit them? I don't know. But come up with something.
Well, he plays with them until they are dead.
Yeah, I remember that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. But not in your presence. I mean, I did. Okay, another good story. Heather has 2 dogs. She's out in Los Angeles, and they was humping each other in front of her. And she's like, ah. So we told him, we said, we don't, she really, it's just, she doesn't like watching you hump. You guys want to hump? That's fine. Don't do it in front of her. So they stopped, but they kept doing it in front of her husband, John. Well, you didn't tell him not to do it in front of John. So we had to go back and say, okay, no human likes to watch you hump. Okay, this is just, that's the way we're programmed. So you want to play, don't do it in front, don't do that stuff in front of us. And that's last time I heard they're still like leaving that stuff out of the relationship with the humans. Making sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see if I got any good stories, other good stories. And when you're giving the positive, what you'd like, that is where the love, the appreciation, the relief, even pride, the animals who walk better on leashes, you know, how proud you are that you have this, I have this dog that I can say, look, what a good dog, you know, she gets along with everybody. If she doesn't want me, she just walks away. And if there are any benefits for them, think about telling them about that. Like dogs that walk better get to go on walks for longer times, you know? They're not just stuck in the backyard or what's in it for them? Do they get will they get some treats when they come back? Will they get to exercise? Will you get to, you know, there's another one where the want to take them places, but they get freaked out in the car. So if you do some work on not getting freaked out in the car, then you have to go more places with me, you know. Think about that. And then sometimes when you're doing this thing, you might find that there's almost a negotiation going on. Like they're asking for something. So again, I had another client who had two little dogs, and she would leave out pee pads for them. And one of them, I can't remember who, was not using the pee pad. And we were asking him to start using it. And what he showed me was that he didn't like stepping in stuff. Who does? Nobody wants to step in pee and poo, right? So we thought, how about more pee pads down on the floor so he doesn't have to step on them? So that made a difference. You know, he was able to use them because he had more choices while she was at work. Can you see how this might work for you? How you might get a back and forth, or I don't know with the animals. Only bring me one snake a week. I don't know. I'm teasing. I have no idea. But something where you're able to negotiate that. And you really can too. You can share I call them the house rules of living with humans. Like we don't do anything. We don't defecate and pee in the house except in our designated places. People need to go on vacation sometimes and leave you home, and you have permission to have a good time and relax. You don't have to miss us. We know you love us. Barking hurts our ears. I mean, I'm having that conversation with Stella to save the insane barking for when somebody taps on the front door. Yeah, I want to know then. But I don't want to hear it. The other stuff is just like, oh, there's an interesting thing going on. Let's, I'd say, oh, that really hurts my ears. Just let me know. That we have to take them to the vet to keep them healthy. We want to keep them around. They need to keep eating because they're not going to stay on the planet and we're going to lose them. I've even had those conversations with cats, and the one cat started to eat again, and he started taking his pills, which just really blew my mind because cats are ornery, and on those kinds of issues, cats are tough. But this guy listened. Anything else? Any ways you think you might be able to use this?
I'm excited to be able to tell Summer that why I want her to go to the bathroom when it's raining.
Yes. Yes.
If she doesn't go to the bathroom, she'll get a UTI. Then I have to take her to the vet, and then I spend all this money at the vet that I don't get to spend on nice things for her.
There you go. Perfect.
Like go to like us, like we can go out to like lunch on the patio, which she loves because she loves patios and like people fawning all over her. We don't get to do that if she's sick.
There you go. Perfect. And then you show her all the consequences of not peeing and how happy we'll be when she does go in the rain. And just
yeah. And also lately she's been like pulling the leash, like not wanting to walk. And if I hold a treat over her head, she's fine. And when we go towards back home, she's fine. And I'm like, but it takes so much longer. I'm like, we could go do fun stuff if you weren't doing this.
I know that one. Yeah, so you can ask, definitely, and show her what you'd like and keep showing her. I've had some success with that with Stella. But I keep working on it because I know she's listening, and I do see some changes there. And it's a lot nicer than just giving up or being angry, right?
Yeah, like it happened just now when I was trying to I was like, Summer, we gotta go. Like, we gotta get back to our call. And she was like, no, I don't want to walk. I don't want to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay.
So there now you can show consequences, and I think they do get it. And also, in doing this and showing sending the emotion. I mean, it's so funny to think that you would be all joyful as you picture in her mind peeing in the rain outside, but then she says like, oh, that makes Sarah happy. Oh, okay. And I do. Animals do want to make us happy. Almost all of them. There's a few exceptions, but there's so few.
Yeah.
Thank God. That everybody want to do it. They want to make us happy. Good, thank you. That's a perfect one. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, Diane, yeah.
Yeah, we have trouble with Honey going to the bathroom in the house when it's raining also. And we have a doggy door. So if we're not here, she should be able to go out. There's really no excuse, but she doesn't like going out in the rain. And she's a tiny little thing and doesn't have a lot of fur. And it's like, well, she's a princess. She wants to, But even if she doesn't go out and go in the grass, if she goes on the covered patio, we can at least kind of hose that. I prefer for that not to happen either. But she's just, I don't know. Now, yesterday when we came home, and again, she hasn't been feeling very good, there was a little bit of diarrhea with some grass in it. So she'd been eating. She had gone out to we have a pool, so most of our backyard is a pool and decking, but there is some grass area around the perimeter. And she must have eaten some of that because she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. And so diarrhea, we know about diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thought you might have is you said she was a princess. We can decide to see our animals as a little bit different. So she might be a princess warrior. You said who she gets out there and she says, "Damn you, rain! I will pee where I like when I like." And we could have two princess warriors here.
Right.
Summer.
Should named her Xena.
She's a little bit more of a diva than a princess.
Well, and what kind of? Well, there are divas who are pretty kick-ass too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm saying is that you open up you open up your mind to a bigger version of her. Like my cat Bunny used to be Brick, which is really hard. And she was pretty she was pretty aggressive. So I changed her to bunny. I wanted to bring out her softer side. So I'm just saying, energetically, words have power and thoughts have power. So if you, and it's fun, say, okay, Miss Diva, let's see what, what kind of diva, what kind of divas say, I am so posh that I can do it in the rain and I'm still looking gorgeous, darling. Or, whatever. I'm making this up as I go.
I mean, Debbie, in the rain.
There you go. There you go. So you can even do that with them, like see them differently, see them a little more, hope to bring out a part of their personality that might be there. We just haven't asked it to show up yet. Okay. Okay, really, let's see. Oh yeah, I want to keep going. You can do time intervals, like this is on vacation or you're leaving. I've heard it two ways. I close my eyes and I see sunrises for each day. Mm-hmm. So I'm leaving tomorrow, and I go this many sunrises, and then I show them me coming back in the door. And then I check in with them on vacation and send them love. Mm-hmm. My friend does sunsets, nights. So whatever, the point is show them a picture. I've also done, when we got some new animals who are really worried about, and they've been to a lot of foster homes, and they want to know if this is a forever home. In places where there's 4 seasons, I've cycled the 4 seasons for 10 times to say, this is your forever home. And I put them next to their people and go, look, they're still there. Look, they're still there. Relax, I've even shown them, there's a special door with mounds of food for animals that are, worried about how much food there is in the life for them. And you can do all sorts of things to say, don't worry about that. I'd like you to be less food aggressive because there's enough for everybody. This is where the imagination just can run wild. It's a ton of fun. It does help to share family changes. If somebody's leaving, somebody's passed away, somebody's coming in for a while to live, just so they know what's going on. I mentioned surgery. You have to do it in little bits. I mean, you can't, if it's 2-month recovery period, you might start with doing the surgery when they're coming home. And then when they get home, you do, okay, so I'm going to give an overall, but for the next 2 weeks, you're not going to be doing a lot of walking because you just had surgery on your knee. I'm hoping you guys are just ooh, right? This could be a lot of fun. And then you show them the end of all this awful stuff where knee surgery, I get you to run again. It doesn't hurt. Yay, I'm a dog who loves to run. Or, whatever it is. The UTI, you take the medicine and then it doesn't hurt anymore to pee. Yay, that's great stuff. So please take your medicine, Okay, so what else we got? Sometimes if you feel like you gave them a lot of information, you might want to stop and ask them to show it back to you to see if they really got it, or ask them for some kind of confirmation that they got it. Being in the Navy, sometimes I even see a little salute, or I hear an aye, ma'am. It's just funny. It's me, it's the way I'm interpreting it, but it's still fun. And the real goal of this, we're going to do the practice again right now and let you just try one small thing, one small change with them, asking for it. But my goal for you is to not always have to do the whole meditation or even a really long time of getting quiet and clearing. My goal for you is that you've done it so often that It's like driving a car. Your body just goes and puts it in gear. So we're doing it slow now, but I expect that over time, you'll be doing, and even right now, you can do it quickly just for trying it out. What do you want to say? What do you want to do without doing the whole meditation, okay? I have to do one caution. If you've got an emotionally charged situation, like their health, like when you worry about serious health things, this is where it's really good to clear your emotions, because you've got so much stuff. If I'm saying you because I can say me, I get fear of losing them, sorrow, and all that sort of thing. So that's a time where clearing this out, clearing out the fear and the sorrow and the, oh, what's going to happen, to be, is real important if you do want to get some information about how they're feeling or what's going on with them. It's making sense, right? Otherwise, what you get reflected, I think, is your own stuff or nothing. Okay. The other one I'm looking down here and want to remind you is the other important thing with your own animals is you have a lot of information and experience with them, and it would be really, really nice to remind yourself that there's probably more. And so I even say to myself, what I think I already know, let it go. And just let's hear what they have to say, what they have to share. And it can be really hard, especially if there's a behavior that's driving you crazy. You know, what is it like from their point of view? Because once you know what it's like from their point of view, then you can have a conversation that makes sense to them. Okay. Alrighty, you guys ready to try something here? Pick something small, you know, it's not just a small behavior change or telling them, you know, whatever. So we're going to go in, I'm going to do the clearing with you. We'll do the whole tree meditation, and then I'll give you a few minutes to picture that they're, you know, you guys are in that space together, and you tell them you love them. Then you ask them to change something. First tell them what it is that's bothering you and how it is. And then you show them how you'd like it to be, and you switch your emotions over as best as you can. Is that everybody, you're clear with that, or questions or anything like that? Everybody okay? Alrighty, so if you're, a lot of people want to turn their video off, that's great. I'm going to keep mine on and just keep talking as we get into the meditation. So for all our animals, they can do what they like. They do not have to be hanging out with us. We know that we're going to connect with them. Alrighty, here we go. So first, what I'd like you to do is close your eyes. There we go. And start breathing quietly and deeply. And I'd like you to picture that there's a locker next to you. I got my blue locker. Yeah. Oh, sorry. We're saying hi to the boy. He's back. Oh, good, baby. You're back. So this is where I put all the things that I don't want to bother me while I'm connecting. And right now we're practicing it, right? So if something else works for you, do it. But right now, try, with the locker. I got an open locker next to me. And I want you to see what thoughts might interfere with connecting to your animal right now. Even thoughts about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, they'll all come back to you. Thoughts about your day. Thoughts about what else you have to get done today. Thoughts about what didn't go right, what did go right. Whether you're going to be able to do that, that will definitely get in the way. So I want you to put those all, I picture, this is for me, I see them on a legal pad, just writing on the pad, and it's in the locker. So please put your thoughts away. And feel what it feels like to be quiet. For the thoughts to have quieted down to not a lot of anything right now. Alrighty. Now physically, just in case something comes through, I would like you to go through your body, and if there are any aches or pains, anything that doesn't feel right, I want you to imagine that you're taking them and moving them to the locker. If your body really needs them, it can have them back. But right now we want to just let them go. So walk through your body from your feet, ankles, legs, knees, thighs, into the torso, all the way through the torso, up the chest. Anything going on there, just put them in your locker. Sometimes after you've moved out of a body part, you'll feel something and just say, okay, got that, put it into. Down your left arm and your right arm. And as you come back up, I want you to really feel into the shoulders. Anything going on there? Send it into the locker and feel the shoulders relax. And on your back, the whole back, the spine, the muscles of the back, the hips, even where we're sitting, anything there goes right in. And then let's move up into the neck. There we go. I feel got something. As you move up to the neck, you've got something, move it into your locker. Feel it release. And we're talking about inside the neck too. So if there's anything going on with the throat, the chest, you know, I know we got some coughing. Any of that can be released right now, let's let it go. So the lungs and the throat and just have a little bit of a break here, if they'd like it. And move into the head. And anything there, if there's some congestion or pain, eyes, ears, nose, let it go. Just remember, you have all those senses to communicate with: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, taste. And just feel the quietness in your body now. Yeah, you guys are doing great. And the thoughts are quiet. And finally, emotions. If there are any strong emotions or even small emotions that you feel might get in the way, might be emotions that are still there around the subject. Let's let them go right now, because we don't want to do that while we're connecting. We would like to use those emotions just to explain to our animal. So let's let those emotions go into the locker. We see them put into little pretty bags and hung up on the locker, in the locker, on the hooks. See what it feels like to feel quiet, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Okay. So now we're going to do the connection. And this is a second way of quieting the body, the mind, the emotions, and making some space for our animals to come through and connect with us and communicate. And space for us to communicate with them. So, just for fun, we're going to pretend we're a tree. And our legs are our roots, and our arms are our branches, and our, I don't know, shoulders, head, branches, hair, our leaves. And as we breathe in, bring in lovely energy with the breath that we take. We also picture that we're bringing energy in from the sun through the leaves, right down into our belly. And now we're going to pretend or imagine or maybe even feel or picture that energy moving down. It's going to move down into our legs, which are our roots, and into our knees, both sides. There we go. Down into our feet. Okay, right, that's calf, right calf, left calf, down the feet. We're going to feel the bottom of our feet. There we go. And we're going to start to grow those roots. We're going to grow them, push them through the house, through the building we're in, all the way down to the ground, which here in Virginia is very wet. So we're going to push through that soil, that wet mud in our part of the world, whatever's going on in yours, push on through till you get to the rock. And you know we're going to the middle of the earth. And push on through all the rocks to the middle of the earth. And go through that middle of the earth to find the water source. I have a well, maybe you have something else, whatever it is, stick your roots in and get grounded. Feel that lovely energy from Mother Earth, who's going to, I think it actually helps us communicate and connect with our animals, since we're both from Mother Earth. Here we go. Let's come on back up. So we pull out of the water and we retract our roots all the way up through the earth. There we go. Into our feet. We feel our feet now. Usually I feel it on the bottom of my feet, but I actually feel it in the whole foot. So you guys are doing wonderfully. Make sure you feel both of them, okay? Left and right. Or imagine that you feel it. Bring that energy up through our legs, to our knees. Hold on, there we go. Thighs. There. Then we get into our torso, which is the trunk of the tree. And we move it all the way up. We keep going up through the belly and the chest. And now we're getting into the branches. So we send that energy down our arms, bring it up into our shoulders. You guys are really connected. So through the neck and into the head. And if you haven't felt it yet, now's the time to have the feeling or pretend that you can feel your scalp. And it might feel like someone's touching your hair. Today it feels like I'm coming out of pins and needles. It's very strong. Or even the wind's coming through the leaves. And let's invite our animals to join us now. Let's all pop up through the top of our heads and find each other. I guess we're doing this somewhere along the Atlantic Ocean, Hannah. I guess it's the midway point from Norway to US. We all join hands and we go to the end of the universe. And as we move away from the earth, we look back and see the earth and the moon, the sun and the planets there. We go through the rest of the planets. We're safe. We're just enjoying the ride. And we get through into the Milky Way galaxy and through all the galaxies. the end of the universe. Oh, nice job, guys. Our animals are with us. And so as we hang out there, just for fun, we see a little button, and you know, I see a little gold ball. And whatever's yours is, touch it, and you see a portal or a door or a window or some kind of an opening, and you go through it. Wow. All right. So I am holding the space, the intention. I'm sending you a ton of energy right now. Even if you're listening to this afterwards, it's still coming for you. So take a couple minutes, 3 minutes to first tell them how much you love them, show them what you'd like to change, how it feels for you, what they're doing now, and then show them what you'd like them to do and how that feels for you. And see if you get some kind of a response from them. Okay, everybody. So say thank you. Thank you. Thank them for listening. Start to come back. What I'm gonna do is actually bring you back. You can hear my dog. Stella's, we're practicing you don't have to bark anymore because we know there's somebody at the door. We got it. Thank you very much. That's what we're doing right now. I'm gonna bring you guys all back. Your animals too, so you're safely in your bodies fully. So it's safe to operate heavy machinery, as they say. So, and you all come on back, and when you're back, please just put the video back on. There we go. Everybody back. There we go. Back in. Okay, good. I feel like everybody's back in their body now. Okay, so it's really important to hear what happened. So y'all got to share whatever it was, whatever happened, good, bad, or indifferent. We need to hear it. So Diane, hope you're okay there. Good. Okay. So Sarah, I'm gonna get you to start us off. How's that?
Okay. I didn't really get to send anything. And I'm not sure if it was summer or not, but I just had like a feeling of like panic.
You did.
Like,
okay.
And it was just very brief. It was like, and it happened 3 times.
3 times? Okay. So you were picking something up. You weren't panicked before you started, right? There was nothing, it's not a replay of something.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
my anxiety is.
Say that again?
That's not like how it didn't.
There you go. Okay, good. So let's assume at this point it came from summer. And so I would guess that your homework would be to go back in and say, what's the panic about? And you don't have to do it right now. Hey, babe.
She was right next to me the whole time.
Okay. And so, where did the panic come from, babe? And let me tell you how you don't have to panic. We've worked together, and I remember this summer is a very tender soul. Remember when I was talking to her and we had to quiet it down because it's like, you don't have to be that mean. All you got to do is say, please don't. So I just remember that about her. So you might just check and make sure that if that's what was going on, she was getting it, but was getting a little panicked. That's a happy dog. Okay. Good start. Practice, all right? And let us know how it's going. Questions?
I guess, so it was just like very intense. So like, how do I guess I need to focus better or like take a step back and focus.
Yeah, it's taking a step back. The focus it's
I don't know. What do I do?
It's a really interesting focus. It's a light focus. It's out of focus. It's of quietly waiting for something to show up. I love the idea of the stage where now it doesn't have to be visual, but waiting for something to pop in. And if nothing's popping in, you get even more quiet. Yeah. Take some breaths and say, I got a little time here, whatever you want to share. Mm-hmm. So it's a real gentle kind of.
I think also now that Summer's just being a little mush. I think also now that I'm not in it, I kind of think it was more like oh my God, did I miss my bus? Like that, did I miss my appointment? Did I miss my bus? that's what I think it was. Like she missed something.
Okay, so all right, so you're getting information from her.
Yeah. Like, uh-oh, did I miss it? Is that why I'm not going? Or something like that.
Okay, good.
But
So you're getting
fine.
So see if it's related to whatever you were going to talk to her about.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. So Diane, are you ready? Tell us how things went.
Yes. I was, Honey, is, well, I don't know. She's really on both ends of the spectrum. Sometimes she's just very delicate in the way she approaches something. And then other times she's just fierce. Like if we're out walking her and there is a dog that weighs 10, 15 times what she weighs, she will bark at that dog like there is no tomorrow. Like she's going to take that dog down. But this time when I was the tree and I invited her in, she was walking very gently, kind of like she is right now. And it might have to do a little bit with her not feeling well. So what I decided to discuss with her was her potty habits. And we have had trouble even on, and I don't, I've kind of attributed it to her breed, that sometimes even when it's not raining, it's not bad weather, she will have accidents in the house. Now, not always, but sometimes. And I've told her that I really don't want her to do that she needs to use the doggy door. That's available to her. She's able to use that. That's my preference. However, the only exception would be if she wants to communicate something with us, like yesterday with the diarrhea with the grass, to let us know that she's not feeling good. So if she has something that she needs to tell us regarding that, then that's fine. But otherwise, if she could please use the doggy door. And she seemed to be listening. My feeling was that she was listening intently, but I didn't really get anything back from her, just kind of quiet pondering.
That's pretty accurate with some animals that I've talked to. So I like the way you did it is you get a kind of a sense that they're thinking about it. Not like they said, yeah, definitely, but they're like, yeah, I'll consider that.
Well, and Honey is 13 years old. We've had these issues for a long time. The old adage, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but we've wondered why. We've tried pee pads. She will walk on the pee pad and then goes to the edge of it. And then usually the pee kind of is over and under the pee pad. So it ends up being more of a mess and we have all wood floors. So we just clean it up and,
Yep.
I don't know.
Going around.
Yeah.
Honestly, the more I talk to people, the more I realize it. And, you just hold in your mind that, okay, so this is the way I think of it. It's that may be true for other dogs. You can't teach a new dog, but it might not be true for Honey. We just never talked about it this way before. So
that is true.
You know, so we don't know. And that's enough to make it a possibility.
Mm-hmm. That would be amazing.
That would be great. Okay, and that's the kind of energy to bring to her doing it elsewhere, like party time.
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo, whatever. Okay, all right. Is that any other thoughts or questions?
No, I guess time will tell.
Yeah, let us know. Glad to find out. And reminders are always good. No, it's not a one-time deal, especially with this when you got a habit going.
Right. Yeah. Well, last week when we were out of town, she seemed to do okay, except she did get sick while we were gone. But before we left, I sort of cupped her face in my hands, and I told her that I was going to be gone for 7 nights and that I was going to be back. Now, our daughter was here with her, and she sleeps at night with our daughter. So, you know, it's not like she was totally alone with, you know, neighbors or somebody coming in to feed her or something like that. But, you know, I've been trying to communicate with her to let her know, because we had talked about that in another session.
Yeah.
You know, to let them know, yes, we're leaving, but we are going to be coming back and things like that. So I tried that last.
Good. Yeah. And I think it works. I do think it makes a big difference. Especially when they start getting used to the fact that, hey, I can hear them. I understand. On their part, they're like, oh.
And she looked at me so intently while I was discussing that with her.
Right?
It's like we were having a conversation. And, you know, I mean, I felt like I was connected with her, even though I didn't take all the time that you take to put the roots down. I do envision that because I like that, envisioning the roots going down into the earth and coming back up and bringing whatever they can from the earth. But I did feel like there was definitely a connection, because she just stopped and she didn't move and she stood there and looked at me.
There you go.
And to me, it's like treating them like you do the other members of the family.
Bingo. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and again, you don't have to do the long one, but I'm doing it here for you, just to make sure that, you know, whatever channels we can open, you really get the foundation. So you don't, and I don't expect that you're going to spend the time. I don't do that all the time, except with the really scary stuff. But yay. And that's the other part of trusting yourself. This is for everybody. If you'd say, it says, if she was really listening to me, cut the crap and say she was really listening to me. She's really listening to me. Mm-hmm. Holy cow, I can tell it. We had a conversation. She's thinking about it. So, and then that also strengthens the bond, where she goes, oh yeah, I am really listening to her. Okay. All right. This. You guys are wonderful. This is such a good teaching time. Hannah, how about you? How did it go with Brandy?
Actually, since we have moved here, I have a problem with Brandy barking when someone calls at the door, and she has always done that, so it's nothing new. But I feel awful about is that when she can see through the window who is coming, and even if it's somebody from the landlord's family whom she knows very, very well, she still barks like hell, and it seems like she's going to, you know, watch over me in this new place. Nobody will come to take me away, or it's something like that. So she's very, very excited and very, and I tried to show her, you know, I'm a very visual person, so I made up a animated little film in my head, and I showed her how the doorbell rang, and we went out to the door very quietly, and I opened the door, and she was able to meet the person, and when she saw that it was someone she knew, she stopped this ridiculous behavior and just started to wag her tail, and everything was okay. And I did this film many, many times, and she is actually right beside me here on the sofa, and in my vision, she sat on the sofa and watched me going back and forth. But I didn't get any answer from her, but she was very eagerly watching my movie or my film, what I did. So I hope she will, next time, perhaps she will tell me back that she did understand what I was trying to ask her not to do. And I was very sad about, you know, I think it's really sad when she barks on people that she really love and know. So that it seems a bit exaggerated. I can see that she barks if some stranger come, But when it's somebody that she knows very well, I think she can just don't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working the same thing with Stella. Yeah, so that's great. You got your emotions down, you got the visual, and so there's a real need to keep reminding.
Mm-hmm.
So, any questions or comments? Because I think that's going to work with her, but as long as you keep doing it, because
yeah,
there's a kind of a joy in barking. We don't want to squelch it, but we want to tame it a little.
You know, when she doesn't, I will be really not upset, but if I could speak to her in the human language, I would say something like, "Oh, shut up! Don't you see that it's him or her, or this is somebody that you know, and please stop, because they are not going to hurt us. They are just at the door to speak to us about something." So that would be what I would like to say to her in the human language. Please don't make a fool of yourself. It's a friend calling.
So you might stick with me, folks. This is really good stuff. What you might want to do is give her a way of expressing delight at people she knows and loves, rather than don't do that. Is there, I mean, because I have, both my guys have sort of a happy, it sounds like, like that kind of stuff. Is there some behavior that you want to say, when you know them, how about this? So rather than this drives me nuts. And if there's some noise that she can make, because it's really hard for dogs to completely shut up that love to bark. Right?
Summer goes like she has like,
I like that.
Cooey like purr. It's like, and like people they just laugh. They eat it up. They're like, oh my God, she's so happy.
Okay, all right. So there's just another thing of giving her something. I like the quiet, but she's like my dog, Hannah. Absolute quiet is going to be really hard. So yeah. So hopefully you can come up with something, a little bit of something for her to be able to say quietly. So thank you.
I will suggest that to her.
Okay. So this was awesome and amazing. You all were such a joy to work with, and so thank you for sticking around. And I will see you. Oh, really quick. I do have a nurture program that continues the practice and talks about different things. So you're going to see an email about that, where you can continue to work with me. Well, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, but I will send you an email about it. And I'm setting up times and dates and things like that. And I would love to continue to work with you. This is what I love to do. So look for the email, all right? And I will see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.